Okay, so welcome. If you don't know me, my name is Kelly. I own Dogkind and I specialize in confidence building for very shy, fearful, and shut down dogs. And like I said, today we will be talking about hand feeding and looking at some real life examples. And you can test your knowledge and your interpretation of body language and behavior when we look at some real life dogs being offered treats by hand. Okay, hand feeding very fearful dogs. How can you tell when it's a bad idea? And just a quick little bit of review from the last video. This is for you if you've adopted or are fostering a very shy, anxious, fearful, or shut down dog, or if you work or volunteer in rescue or sheltering with these dogs and are in a position to be giving advice to adopters and foster homes. And you're wondering if feeding by hand is in fact a good approach to trying to help fearful dogs bond with people. Again, quick review from last time, is hand feeding a good idea for fearful dogs? And like most things in behavior, the answer is it depends on the individual, but in general, if you're giving advice to others or trying to decide without a whole bunch of personalized information about a particular dog, whether or not to try hand feeding, I don't recommend it. I say just skip it and instead just drop or toss food. Now, why not? There are several risks associated with offering a fearful dog food in your hand, one of which being it can create conflict between the motivation to get the food and the motivation to stay away from you, and sometimes that does result in a bite. And it can also accidentally punish behaviors we want in our really sensitive dogs, including approaching us and even taking treats from us if the overall experience is negative for them. How can we tell if it's not okay? And this is what we will practice going over today in the videos. Signs that maybe we need to step back and reevaluate a decision to do some hand feeding with a sensitive dog include hesitation to take the food or to even approach all the way where they close enough they could take the food, fearful body language, including but not limited to ears being pinned back, a tail that is low or tucked, a lowered body, stretching to take food, sort of stretching their neck out without moving their paws, grabbing the food quickly and then backing away from you, and in the future, becoming less and less willing to approach you to take treats. Those are all signs that what we're trying to do, our intention, is not being realized in the dog's experience. So what we're doing is probably not going to work well. Okay, let's take a look at a couple of videos. All right, this is Miss Daisy. And she is going to be offered some treats by Mom.
Easy.
And we can't see her whole body, but you can see her ears, eyes, and mouth. You can see where she is positioning herself. And so what are we seeing here? So if we go back to our list, did we see any hesitation to approach or take food? Nope, she was right on top of it. Her ears were forward. We could not see her tail position, but her body wasn't lowered. It was upright. She was sitting. She wasn't stretching to take the food. She wasn't grabbing the food and backing away. So based on that video, I would say probably hand feeding for Daisy is okay. Now, let's take a look at, I have a couple videos from Miss Sky. So here's one. There she is, little white dog sitting there in the doorway to her safe space. And her mom is going to hold out something, and what does Sky do? So she's retreated into her safe space and is not coming forward to get the treat on offer. So here, what did we see that would clue us into the fact that maybe this wasn't the best idea? Was there hesitation to come forward to get the treat? Yes, she wouldn't come forward at all. We couldn't really see much of her body language because she ran into the room. But the not being willing to come get the food is by itself, I think, plenty of communication for us to decide that, okay, this, at least right now, this is not a great idea. Let's not try to get her to take this from my hand. All right, here's Sky in another situation. It's a little grainy because I've zoomed in. So we've got Sky and her sister. And there's some more subtle things to look for here. Sky's hanging out and she's taking the food readily. If you see anything in the body language, go ahead and put that in the comments under the video whenever you are watching this. And so I am going to first go back to the slide we were just looking at and say, okay, well, what did we see? Did we see any of this stuff here? Signs that it's not okay. She wasn't hesitant to approach and she wasn't hesitating to take the food, so that's really good. She didn't have any severely fearful body language. Her ears were forward, mostly. Her tail wasn't tucked, but it was kind of low. Her body was not lowered. She was not stretching to take the food. She was not grabbing the food and backing away. But I thought it might be worth looking briefly here at some of the other small body language signals that suggest that maybe she's not 100% comfortable. So just there, watch her ears. We'll sometimes go back a little or to the side. There's a little flick to the side. And it's hard to always tell about tail position if you don't know the dog well, but for Sky, this is like an in-between tail. When she's really happy, it's up high above her back. And when she's more nervous, it's down, straight down, or even tucked. And so what you're seeing here is a dog that is, not 100% comfortable. She's not so uncomfortable that she feels the need to leave. And I happen to know that Sky and her kitty sister have a mixed relationship, and my guess is that some of her slightly nervous body language, and there you saw her ears tilt back and a look away, some of that may be related to the cat being right there. Oh, cutie. Okay, and there's one more of Sky, and I like videos. Sky has a lot of smaller body language signals that you might not see in a dog who's either more scared or just more sort of has bigger signals. So it's good practice. So here she came over and she got the treat. And you see the cat's there again, twitching her tail. And you see some tail wags here, which is nice. And her tail, in general, has been a bit higher than in the previous video. There it goes down now. Okay, so let's back up on this again. So I won't go back to the slide again, but you do see that she comes right up, and you've got her tail is higher, and there was some tail wagging. And she is going to, now did you see that little twitch and step back when Mom reached toward her? So you see the step back and her ears flicked back briefly. Let's look at that. So that suggests a little bit of worry about the reaching there. The other thing she does, which may speak more to her comfort being that close to the cat and food versus having anything to do with her mom, is that she chooses to go around to the other side of the ottoman there. So these are all these little signals are giving us clues about how Sky is feeling, and is hand feeding a good idea or not in this situation. And when you get more subtle signs like we're seeing here, where she's not terrified, there are just some things that are slightly less comfortable for her. That can also allow us to carefully adjust how treats are being offered, because you can probably do it by hand in a way that's comfortable, but you might be more comfortable with some slight changes to this picture. All right. So I hope this was helpful, and I hope you take the time to sort of watch the video carefully, rewind it, pause it, practice your observation skills. If you don't already have our free guide to caring for your fearful dog, make sure to go to dogkindtraining.com/care and get that. And I will be back next week with you at the same time to talk more about confidence building in sensitive dogs.